The Guild Highliner is essentially a massive, neutral space bus. For this trip, its cavernous cargo hold is packed shoulder to shoulder with the private frigates of the galaxy's elite, all traveling in enforced absolute peace to the new Emperor's coronation. Firing a weapon in here violates the most sacred laws of the universe. Glossu Rabin bypasses this ancient truce entirely. Piloting an experimental, completely invisible Harkonnen warship, he slips silently through the hold and parks directly in front of the Atreides frigate. From that invisible vantage point, Rabin fires multi-phase artillery. The missile's physical trajectory perfectly frames Duke Leto Atreides as the shooter, striking the Tleilaxu transports. Instantly, paranoia takes over. Dozens of ships lock on to the Atreides vessel, threatening a crossfire that would vaporize the highest-ranking nobles. Leto is completely boxed in. He has no way to prove an invisible ship fired the shot. If he returns fire to defend himself, he triggers a chain reaction that massacres the galaxy's elite. With seconds before the lasers fire, Leto realizes the only way to stop the bloodshed is to disable the Highliner itself. He orders his crew to do the one thing absolutely forbidden during fold space transit. He activates his ship's shields. Active shields fatally interfere with the Guild Navigator's trance and the Holtzman engines. The resulting feedback violently rips the colossal ship out of its dimensional jump, hurling it erratically into normal space. The sudden, chaotic stop disables the immediate threat of a firefight, but leaves everyone stranded. To maintain the halt in hostilities, Leto invokes an ancient, rarely used legal mechanism, the trial by forfeiture. By doing this, a noble surrenders all titles, wealth, and assets directly to the court in exchange for a public trial. Leto formally strips the Red Halp insignia from his uniform and hands administrative control of his home planet, Caladan, over to the Landsrat. He believes he is sacrificing his entire legacy simply to prevent an immediate war. Stripping himself of all legal protection successfully diffuses the tension in the Highliner. The weapons power down. But the physical evidence still points squarely at him, dooming him to a trial he cannot possibly win. Leto sits isolated in a high-security prison cell on the capital planet of Kaitain. The physical evidence against him is overwhelming, and his legal advisors confirm his situation is hopeless. Then, a guard slips a mysterious message cube onto his desk. Leto activates it, and it projects a brief text warning. The incoming Emperor Shaddam maintains a secret, highly illegal alliance with the Bene Tleilax. The cube immediately self-destructs, leaving Leto with no tangible proof. But with nothing left to lose, he sends a message directly to Shaddam. He threats to expose this Tleilaxu alliance during his highly publicized trial unless the Emperor guarantees his safety. It is a massive, blind bluff. Leto has no actual evidence, and he doesn't even know what the alliance entails. He is directly provoking the most powerful man in the universe on a complete guess. Inside the Imperial Palace, Shaddam and his deadly assassin advisor, Hazimir Fenring, read Leto's message and panic. They are secretly funding a Tleilaxu project to create synthetic spice, an illegal monopoly that would cause the entire galaxy to rebel if discovered. Shaddam starts piecing Leto's recent actions together, but he views them through a lens of extreme paranoia. He assumes the firing on the ships, the sudden shield activation, and the demand for a public trial weren't desperate reactions at all. He groups them together into one deliberate master plan designed to hold the Carino throne hostage. Shaddam concludes that Leto engineered the entire standoff. If Leto is found guilty and dragged down by the courts, he will expose the synthetic spice project and take the imperial throne down with him. The Emperor realizes he has no choice. He must save Leto. Under the cover of absolute darkness, the assassin Hazimir Fenring sneaks into the guest quarters of the surviving Tleilaxu pilot. With a quick release of poison darts, Fenring silently assassinates the only direct eyewitness who could testify against Leto. At the exact same time, the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood realizes Leto's death would ruin their centuries-long genetic breeding program. Operating entirely in the shadows, they offer their elite truthsayers to the court, ensuring the judges will hear a supernaturally verified confirmation of Leto's innocence. Leto's blind bluff accidentally weaponized his greatest enemies. By stumbling into their secrets, his chaotic desperation forces Shaddam and the Bene Gesserit to expend immense resources to rig a trial in favor of a boy they actively despise. But the secret alliances are beginning to fracture. The Tleilaxu are completely unaware of the Emperor's panic and his sudden need to keep Leto alive. Outraged by the attack on their ships, they decide to bypass the trial entirely and execute Leto themselves. A supposedly loyal guard enters Leto's cell. Suddenly, the guard's uniform splits open, revealing two Tleilaxu assassins who had been masquerading as a single human. They lunge at Leto with poisoned blades in a frantic, close-quarter struggle. Leto narrowly survives the ambush. But when word reaches Shaddam that the Tleilaxu tried to murder the very prisoner holding the imperial throne hostage, the Emperor is furious. The rogue assassination attempt deeply fractures his secret partnership with the Tleilaxu researchers. Leto's mere survival becomes a critical destabilizer. By simply staying alive, he acts as a chaotic wedge, driving the galaxy's most dangerous conspirators into a state of absolute paranoia, turning them against each other to protect their own interests. Far away from the prison, Baron Harkonnen lounges in an opulent, bubble-filled bath. He casually dismisses his nephew, Glossu Robin, ordering him to leave the planet, so no Harkonnen presence is linked to Leto's impending guilty verdict. The Baron rests in smug satisfaction. He believes his invisible ship trap was a flawless masterpiece, a brilliant piece of engineering that has guaranteed the eradication of House Atreides without leaving a single fingerprint. But the Baron's perfect trap failed precisely because it was too effective. By cornering Leto so completely, it forced the young Duke to make a gamble so insane that it short-circuited the entire political system. Ultimate political power rarely belongs to the mastermind with the perfect trap. Often, it falls to the player whose chaotic desperation simply forces the puppet masters to tangle their own strings.